Testing 1 2 1 2 Paisley Park. It's cold. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is Adam Sarikoglu. Paleologos?
Paleologos. Adam or Adem? What do you want? Adam? Just keep it Adam? All right. This is Peter Paleologos. Welcome to Paisley Park. Great night for football.
Mate, is that an anaconda or what?
Round 10 continues in NPL Victoria. Saturday evening football coming to you live from Paisley Park. Altona Magic hosting. It's Adam Sarikoglu and Peter Paleologos with you. We'll have a chat with Peter shortly. One change for each side from the starting lineups from last weekend. Nasa Havdic comes in for Jay Kelly for Altona Magic, and for Melbourne Knights, John Albano back in the starting 11 with Mitch Hoare not kitting up for this particular game. Peter, we're at that time of year now where things are really starting to matter on the table. It's 8th v 12th coming into this one, particularly for Magic. Every game is going to become vital now.
Very important game. Welcome, Adam. Welcome, all viewers. Hope you enjoyed tonight, but this is a big game. Two western suburbs of Melbourne powerhouse clubs, Altona Magic v Melbourne Knights, both towards the back end of the ladder. So last week, Altona Magic had a win to get themselves out of relegation, and Melbourne Knights not having the season that probably they want. Consequently, they're really mid-table. But John Albano, very important. Adam, tonight, just really to add that oomph for Melbourne Knights. Looking forward to this game.
So it's Christian Rossi in goal for Altona Magic, and then from the back, Aaron O'Driscoll, John Stojcevski, and Alexander Gust. And then further up, Nathan Liberto, Saad Mukicha, Mohammed Al-Hawley, and Ismail Haji. And then up front, Darcy Anastovsky, Nasa Havdic, and Bull Juach. And for Melbourne Knights, it's Chris Oldfield in goal. And then Ben Carrigan, Corey Sill, Ivan Franjic, and Tom Werndl, the former Magic man. There's a couple of former Magic players out here for Melbourne Knights this evening. And then through midfield, Steve White, John Albano, Jack Morton. And it's going to be Kieran Bramwell leading things up front alongside Saif Saki and Tommy Semi, who did score twice against Melbourne Knights in this exact fixture last season. His first outing against his former club. A couple of Altona Magic players crossing over to Summer Street, over to Summer Peter.
That's exactly right. Semi and Wandel last year, very important players for Altona Magic, now crossed over to Melbourne Knights, who didn't really change their squad much. They're much more stable squad, whereas huge turnover in Altona Magic. But yeah, Thomas Semi, he's a very exciting player. I'm looking forward to how it goes against his former team tonight, Adam. Here we go.
We have a FIFA referee in charge of proceedings as well from New Zealand, Calvin Berg, is taking charge of this one here. And it will be Altona attacking toward the right of screen. Melbourne Knights in their two shades of grey kit. Haven't seen that since the opening fixture of the season at Lakeside Stadium against South Melbourne. As we mentioned, just the one change each for these two sides. Altona getting that 1-0 win last week here against St Albans. Melbourne Knights going down 1-0 to Heidelberg. Liberto. Sahavdic on the turn. As Magic look to attack early. Liberto. Oldfield does have to get a glove on it. Early corner for Altona Magic.
Confidence is up for the Altona Magic from last week's win from St Albans, and they want to get on the front foot. Melbourne Knights, who were really competitive last week and really maybe should have got a result against Heidelberg, really started strongly. So both teams, I think, will come out with an attacking mindset tonight. Adam?
Saad Mukicha will take the first corner of the evening here at Paisley Park. It's a chilly one as we creep closer to winter. Mukicha's ball lands safely in the gloves of Chris Oldfield. Old reliable in goal for Melbourne Knights, and it was a long-range throw that ended up picking out John Albano. Did get minutes last week, but back in the starting 11 for Melbourne Knights here this week for Ben Suri. Tommy Semi in the area here. As we mentioned, scored twice in this fixture for the team that he now calls his opposition here this evening. It was in June last year, a 3-2 win for Altona over Melbourne Knights here at Paisley Park, and Tommy Semi scored 2 of those goals for Altona. Now Hawley's crossing ball. So Havdic struggling to control it. And we're back with Chris Oldfield. Both teams looking to go on the attack early here. And Franjic will try to settle it down a little bit. Little looping ball over the top. It wasn't a bad first touch there from Carrigan. Shirt tug, in fact it was Bramwell. The Altona man goes down, and the foul will go Magic's way.
Last week, Knights were really pressing hard, as were Heidelberg. It was a very sort of really fast-flowing match, toe-to-toe, so I expect the same today. But new referee tonight from New Zealand, as you said, Adam. Be interesting to see how it controls the tempo and the flow of this game, because I think both teams quite physical, quite transitional, and really want to attack. So it's going to be very interesting if he lets the play flow, or he tries to control the tempo a little bit, because it's going to be quite tough out there.
It's Calvin Berg, our guest referee here. He's got the FIFA badge on his shirt. So Mukicha with the ball in. Oldfield just a small fumble. And a positive start from Goran Lozanovsky's men. They're just trying to re-establish some ascendancy. It's been tough going for them so far after a tumultuous summer for Altona. Nearly a full clean out of the squad. And they've been struggling throughout season 2024 so far.
Yeah, as you said, Adam, a big turnover at Altona Magic. I saw him quite a few times last year. Jean Kuba, one of the stars of the competition last year. Obviously, Jonas Markovski, fantastic opportunity for him to go to Brisbane Roar, but really losing a lot of players. Semi, of course, and then you had players like Leach and Harding, who were a bit of X factor last year, so quite a bit of turnover. And really, Goran Lozanovsky, he's won 2 titles, Northcote and Preston. He knows how to develop a championship squad, so really he's working with a new set of players, and it's exciting to see.
Duarch looking to combines with Al Hawley. And here is Tommy Semi on retrieval duty for Melbourne Knights. Mentioned off the top now, every fixture becoming more and more important as we enter the middle stages of the season. Particularly for Magic, just on that edge of the relegation battle, but Melbourne Knights as well, who did make the top 6 last season. And they're outside that range on the table at the moment, coming off a loss to one of their old rivals in Heidelberg United. Stoichevsky reclaiming possession here for Melbourne Knights, or for Altona rather. Mukicha, who's been busy. O'Driscoll. The run being made by Al Hawley. It bounced away from him.
Yeah, I noticed that Semi's playing a little bit deeper on the wing there. It's maybe a different sort of compared to when he was playing last year, Altona Magic. But Stoichevsky, very important. I think he's the most capped NPL player for Altona Magic. We don't have our Opta stats this year, but yes, I think he's a stalwart and very important just in terms of confidence for the team. But Semi playing a bit deeper, maybe that's because Joe Albano as well on the other side, and they probably a little bit of a different dynamic.
Altona ball. Stoichevsky. Gust with the little chipping ball. Runs away from Haji. It's been a nice start here for Altona. Nearly 7 minutes in. Not struggling in the back third. Liberto gets involved again for Altona, just at the edge of the area here, working hard. Anastovsky scored from the spot last week against St Albans. Pinballs around, might end up back with Liberto. instrumental in setting up that penalty. Anastovsky now surrounded by defenders. Ball's booted straight into Buljuarch. And some poise for Melbourne Knights as they now look to attack on this right side, and Tommy Semi. As Gus working on him. And Gus has done well. Semi not giving up the fight though. And then gave way to foul.
Yes, Gus, very important player. He was in the Team of the Week, the NPL Team of the Week, as one of the defenders last week. So he's really coming through. Very young player, both left and right, very athletic, ex-A-League youth player. So really got a lot going for him. And to get in the Team of the Week this early in the season is really good work by the player. And really taking on Tommy Semi is going to be a big lesson today. But look, he's very confident, and it's good to see.
John Albano cuts away through midfield. Semi's on the right once more. Knights now looking to launch an attack of their own. Couldn't cut it back out toward Kieran Brownwell, but he does win the corner. The Knights' first of the evening.
You mentioned Semi crossing over to Melbourne Knights. I think this year they wanted a bit extra X factor just up front because they did make the finals. They got close. That loss to Avondale was very close in last year's final. So I think that extra edge. But however, this season hasn't progressed as much. So hopefully they pick up from here.
White taking the short corner. And then it's sent in just at the back post. Frunich with a half chance, maybe going begging. No Driscoll for Al Hawley. Christian Rossi in goal this evening for Altona Magic. Frunich. White. A wasted ball forward, nowhere near John Albano. Actually split the gap between he and Kieran Brownwell. This is O'Driscoll for Altona. Central ball for Liberto. Tries to play on quickly toward Haji. Al Hawley for Altona. Stochevsky. Juarch. Here's his long-range target. Just a bit too much on that ball, but not far off from coming off.
We're just standing behind the two coaches here, and I can see Goran Lozanovsky really shouting to his players to be aware. Don't let Melbourne Knights get behind you. So really shouting instructions in terms of spatial and where you're on the field. So trying to keep his players focused. They've started very well, but they need to ensure that Melbourne Knights don't get behind them, especially with Albano and Semi on both wings.
First freight train of the evening going by. Maybe you're just catching that in the background on the vision here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. It was Saki, who has it back now, looking to launch the new Melbourne Knights attack. Semi. Whites. The other former Altona man in Wendell. Morton into midfield. White distributing out towards Semi. Gust getting in the way. Lukachar couldn't control it. Morton winning it back for Melbourne Knights. Some nifty work from Saki. But it does slip back out of bounds, and Altona will get it back. So Knights are starting to try to press now, Peter, but Altona holding firm.
Yes, they are. The Knights are pressing. As you say, it's a very unusual vista here. We've got a train that just went past, quite loud. But you can see the whole Melbourne skyline, so pretty much a dichotomy here in terms of vista. But you mentioned Machuca, he actually quoted this week that the Altona Magic are really up for this game. He said that the boys have put in their heads down this week and got fired up to put in a very good effort on behalf of the Altona faithful. So we expect a big performance by him and from Altona attacking now.
Al Hawley keeps it low. Darcy Anastovsky let it go past, and Knights are happy to concede the corner. Second one of the night coming up for Altona Magic. Liberto will take it. First one from this side. Both teams happy to press so far. The Liberto corner for Altona Magic. Toward the near post. Easily enough dealt with for Melbourne Knights. And the counter is on. Saki couldn't make the pass work. Gus getting in the way once more. Stoichevsky. Happy to play back to Rossi and now O'Driscoll. Stoichevsky. The call goes Melbourne Knights' way here.
Yeah, Gus, a foul there by the... Also, there's Gus, he's known for his endurance and really spin, and we've seen that in this match. Been a believe Melbourne Victory youth player, but really getting into the game and really seeing a lot from him. I do like this, as he's playing against Semi, he's got a lot on his plate, but really playing well. Altona be confident. I think they've started very well on the front foot, and I think from last week's momentum, they're pushing more attacking and taking on the Melbourne Knights. Melbourne Knights actually last week had more chances than Heidelberg, but couldn't convert. So I think we're in for an attacking game tonight.
O'Driscoll, nice ball for Anastovsky. Slipping over as he tried to play it out toward Buljuarch. He's actually swapped sides with Ismail Haji. This is Carrigan. Now Franjic. Ivan Franjic. Wenzel. Carrigan. White receives it from Franjic. Wenzel immediately pressured. And the mistake was forced there by Nasser Havdic. Now Hawley. Now Haji. Had to get away from Albano. Stoichevsky. Sits one over the top. Buljuarch, he slipped over at the exact wrong moment. Saki was there for Melbourne Knights. They'll be able to clear out. Foot race for the ball here. O'Driscoll should get there first for Altona and does. But not without giving up the possession. Saki scurries over to take this throw for Melbourne Knights. Haven't had too many chances at goal so far this evening, Melbourne Knights. What's the call here? Goal kick from the New Zealander referee here, Calvin Berg. FIFA accredited out here this evening.
Yeah, good opportunity for referees, as we've seen in the English Premier League. Gillette from Australia getting a lot of games, get well respected in that league. And obviously the NPL's not at that level, but it's good to see referees moving around, getting different experiences. And the NPL, a very tough competition, and as much as the A-League is as well. And it's good for people to get different experience in different environments, because that improves the experience, the opportunities, and everyone understands the different types of football. So I'm all for that. Adam?
We'll get things restarted here for Altona. a look at a really long-range set piece here for Altona Magic. O'Driscoll nearly had a free header there. Runs away from Liberto. Danger not averted yet for Melbourne Knights though. Gust tried to feed the ball through. It's going to land safely back with Chris Oldfield eventually. Just a moment or two there to make Ben Siri nervous. This is Carrigan. White, the main man in the middle for Melbourne Knights this evening. The cutback was good for Morton. Now the long-range ball. Semi's on the run, and he's onside. Tommy Semi looking to cut back. Semi then fires away the shot into side netting. Tommy Semi doing Tommy Semi things at Paisley Park.
Yes, Tommy Semi getting into the groove there, opening up the opportunity, cutting back and causing some danger. Before that, Altona could have done a little bit better. They had the three tall Harjis was there, O'Driscoll and obviously Anastovsky, but the delivery wasn't very good. So Melbourne Knights on the transition and Semi on the break, very dangerous.
Another corner for Steve White. You see that flag just behind him, blowing somewhat heavily toward the left off screen. Knights with the breeze at their backs in this first half. White with the second ball in. Pretty shallow. Morton struggling to control that one in the air. Bulleju Arch then lost control as well. Saki advancing past a couple of Altona defenders. Saki, he was off balance though as he finally was able to send the ball in. Easy pickings for Stojcevski. Knights ball. Foul after the ball was cleared out. It'll go to Knights' way. Back toward this side of the pitch. Wendell. Carrigan. Fronic. Wendell. One way then the other. Carrigan once more. Nice through ball there to Wendell. And the left-footed cross, easily dealt with by O'Driscoll. Al Hurley doing well to keep the ball alive and not give away the corner. Anastovsky engaged in a one-on-one here against Frunic. Carrigan comes in to help. White. Semi has been the danger man so far for Melbourne Knights, but on this occasion, Gust has him covered once more. And Alexander Gust has been good defensively so far for Altona.
Very impressive. We've noticed that from just kickoff. Very, very impressive, and that's why he was in the team of the week last week. But it's interesting, Altona very much a different defence this year with O'Driscoll, the Irishman, and Sojcevski, the veteran.
John Albano losing his footing, did well to recover. Al Hawley eventually kills off the attack, but we do have another Melbourne Knights corner. Steve White to take it again. Third corner of the evening, first from this side for the visitors. Steve White. It'll be an out-swinging ball. So we have another corner. No.
No, we don't there. A little bit of an error there by Melbourne Knights. But I did mention O'Driscoll, the Irishman. He was also in the team of the week last week, NPL team of the week. And there's a difference here, I would say, with Altona Magic. Last year, having watched a lot of them, very strong offensively, but defensively there were some frailties. But this year looks like, different defence. And with Gus coming in as well, O'Driscoll, and obviously Sojcevski, the veteran, a different type of defensive structure, which seems to be working.
Little back flick from Tommy Semi was effective, but there's not much space here for Knights, and eventually they lost control of the possession. We'll get it back here, John Albano. Can't get past Haji. Liberto. Bulleju Arch, but the ball too central. Morton will reclaim it for Melbourne Knights. Wendell. The former Altona man. The first touch from Saki wasn't great, but he might recover okay. Getting the boot in, Al Hawley wins it back for Altona. Al Hawley being okay so far this evening as well. Anastovsky, the first time ball for Buljuarch. Has Carrigan working on him. Carrigan puts the boot in. A perfect tackle executed by Ben Carrigan. Wendell. Knights out of danger once more. Tommy Semi gets it back here. Looking to cut back. No obvious options for him to go to. Has to retreat and take some ground. Morton perhaps not expecting that ball initially. He was able to get there in time. White. Semi. Sewell. And again, Gust getting in the way.
Gust is everywhere. Jack Morton playing more of a 6 role. Last year was more of a wing back. He mixed it up with midfield, but now he's trying to more dictate terms. That may be because Coleridge went to Melbourne Victory. He was a very important young player for Melbourne Knights, but transferred out this season. And we've seen Jack Morton trying to show that he's dictating the midfield, which is good. And we're seeing a lot more, a little bit more creativity for the Knights.
Al Hawley again working on Albano. Morton. Out of nowhere, Ismail Haji forcing a turnover. Anastovsky. This ball's much better for Buljuarch. And he has time. Liberto, can he fire away maybe? Anastovsky at the top of the area. Anastovsky. That wasn't going to really seriously test Chris Oldfield in the end. So now Saul will bring it out for Melbourne Knights. Frunich. Ends up with Semi. Again, Gust. Man's up on him. Semi. Had to use the escape hatch. Saul. That was a nice move as well. Stojchevsky giving away another corner for Melbourne Knights.
Yes, good to see Haji before for Altona Magic get involved. He came over from Green Gully. You need to see more of him. And Anastovsky's really working hard. Reminds me of Jonas Markovsky of last year. Really working hard and changing right, left, coming forward. So really a lot of work there by Anastovsky. Here we go with the Knights.
White once more with the corner. Fourth of the night, O'Driscoll to clear out. Albano, awkward bounce. Morton tried to play back in. Excellent defending to regain possession by Saki. Albano, in fact, it was Wendell who reclaimed that possession. Albano, there's no one in the area for Melbourne Knights. Liberto. Lukacha. Haji. Anastovsky again, the first time ball. Liberto. Sahavdic. Sahavdic. Makes Mukacha work for it. Albano for company. Everyone resets as Mukacha sits over the top of the ball. No, Driscoll. Stojchevsky. Gust. A bit undersized as a defender, but it's been ultra impressive, Alexander Gust, so far. This is Haji. Al Hawley was asking for the ball on the right side. Gets around Wernzel. Trying to play back. It didn't really come off for Sahavdic in the end. With a land back with O'Driscoll. Does well to get it to Liberto. All the way back to the safety of Rossi.
Yeah, Al Hawley and Liberto doing a lot of work there for Altona Magic and regain the ball. Really working hard and making a little bit of a difference here. It's starting to put a lot of pressure on the Knights. Here we go. Alhuli again, in the right position. He's got Liberto inside.
Sahavdic couldn't find its way through to Juach. Juach now on the follow-up with Corey Sewell for company. And Sewell does well. And Altona's second corner of the evening coming up.
Don't have to actually switch to the other side, but I mean that might be a good move just to try, because on this side he wasn't getting that much into the play. But here's a chance for Altona. They got Haji, they got O'Driscoll, very strong defender. They've got some height there. This is an opportunity. They've really got to make the most of the set pieces here and put pressure on Oldfield.
Saad Mukic up. We'll take this corner for Altona. We're at 0-0 so far. Anastovsky tried to send a secondary ball into that central part of the box. Stoichevsky has an acre of space in front of him. Anastovsky, the first touch too heavy. Saki loses out against Haji. And they've actually both potentially picked up some minor niggle as a result of that particular coming together. And Saki's still slow to get up. Back up on his feet now as Stoichevsky will sweep it back up for Altona. Gust. Mukic up. Haji. Seems to be zipping around all over the pitch, Haji, at the moment. Playing in multiple positions. Al Hawley. Nearly. That ball finds its way through to Saki. Liberto there for Altona, though. Stoichevsky. Gust making the run on the left. He keeps it near midfield. Liberto going back to Stoichevsky. O'Driscoll assesses the options from the back. Advances quite a fair way before going out toward Anastovsky. Liberto just keeps bobbing up. Still Liberto. Key chance here, and that was not that far away. And we remain scoreless at Paisley Park.
Fantastic by Liberto. Really took that on and really created a fantastic opportunity. That looked like a goal from here, but very unlucky. Altona Magic moving the Knights around a little bit, swinging the players. They're really pushing some of their wing backs up as well, El Huli especially, and Gus, and that's really putting pressure on the Knights.
It's been an impressive half hour from Altona Magic. And they have withstood a little bit of pressure from Melbourne Knights and created some chances of their own. Anastovsky. Doesn't work out for Sahavdic on that occasion. Franjic. Carrigan. Wenzel. Now Ben Suri's men just trying to re-establish a little bit of control. There's no one there in a grey shirt. O'Driscoll advancing once more. Anastovsky. Wanted to turn quickly. Sahavdic. Gust. That direct matchup between he and Semi's been a delight to watch so far. Fascinating individual battle between those two. Semi won out on that occasion. Chance here for Altona to attack again from the set piece. No, it's gone out of play, in fact. Thought we were setting up for a free kick there for a moment. We have a corner.
You can see from here, Goran Lozanovsky really pushing his players to press and believe in themselves, and you're seeing that pressure they're putting on. And really, Melbourne Knights making a few mistakes, just like that corner.
Short corner taken. Liberto tried to pick out Anastovsky at the back. We're going to see another corner. We swap sides this time. Fascinating battle, this one at Paisley Park so far.
Yeah, really. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, Adam, that last 30 minutes, Altona's really taken a bit of control, really played good football. And this is Liberto, very creative player, also taking some set pieces. really good to see, and and that's creating problems for the Melbourne Knights.
Liberto, double fister from Oldfield. The extra man comes in Ishmael Haji. His initial ball blocked. Liberto will go again. Semi surrounded by Magic Men. Gets away with it. Played it back nicely for Wendell. The two former Altona men combining for the new club Melbourne Knights. Franjic sends one out wide. Saul dispossessed. Sahavdic was working hard. And he's done well to regain it for Altona. O'Driscoll has a man on. Had to release quickly. Gust. A sprayed ball out in the direction of Buljuach.
Yeah, disappointing ball by Gust. It will be talking quite up. I saw him. He's actually a bit like, I don't want to talk AFL, but he's actually tagging Semi because he's going from right to left. So I'm making sure he's on top of him. So it's obviously instructions from Goran Lozanovsky. Melbourne Knights really probably need to get Jan Arbana a little bit more into the game, and also from the midfield. They've lost a little bit of momentum these last 15, 20 minutes. I think more pressing's required as well. I mean, they've got a 4-3-3, but it seems not to be working at the moment. Adam?
Albano versus Al Hawley. Melbourne Knights eventually win out. Throw quickly taken by Wendell. The tackle from Al Hawley. Seeing some great moments of individual defensive brilliance so far from both sides this evening. Wendell. Indecisive. I'll get out of the phone box, although two Magic defenders then collide. It was Haji and O'Driscoll. Ends up with Wendell for Melbourne Knights. Creeping into the area. O'Driscoll giving away yet another corner.
Yeah, O'Driscoll looks very confident player. You can tell he's got some leadership at the back there with Johnny Stojcevski. Melbourne Knights really having pressure. This is an opportunity to really get something. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency from the Knights. As you mentioned earlier, Adam, mid-table, lost last week against Heidelberg, losing a bit of a momentum, and Altona Magic, this is a game they can probably get into.
White's corner. Liberto did well to get to Juach, and now Juach goes for a run. Morton for company. Albano was that other option where he really couldn't go in board without it being cut off and losing possession. It's all worked out okay. Haji. Unable to combine with Sahavdic. Semi clears out only as far as Stojcevski. Haji. O'Driscoll. Al Hawley. Al Hawley's ball just invites Chris Oldfield to it. Like a moth to a flame. A goalkeeper to an incoming ball in the area. Cheap possession given away there by Liberto. Now Albano can go for a dash. Cuts back to White. Saul's first time ball out to Semi. And he went first time as well. Saki. Still safe Saki. Did that take a deflection? Not, according to Calvin Burke.
No, way off the mark there. It's interesting that the Altona Magic midfield's alternating quite a bit. You're seeing Liberto right, left. You're seeing Haji probably needs to get a little bit more urgency and involved, but he's also switching. So really mixing it up, and Savhardzic has been quite impressive as well, getting involved in a lot of the midfield and attacking forays.
This is Gust. Sahavdic now. Got to be careful here, Altona. Gust controlling it nicely. Mukicha. Where's the space? Mukicha trying to find it. Does well. Held onto the ball as long as he could. The run is being made by Haji, but the flag then goes up. He's called for offside.
Got to see a little bit more of that from Hodge. Use his speed, get behind, create that opportunity. He's got that talent, and he needs to be working a little bit harder. Just for our viewers who did know some previous results, Green Gully 1, Port Melbourne 2, and we also had Manningham 1, Hume City 3.
Here, 0-0. Even if some joker on the manual scoreboard off to our right, Peter, has a 1-0 lead for Melbourne Knights on that. Don't have the electric scoreboard here at Paisley Park. A bit old school, this particular venue. Always provides for good atmosphere, though, in Melbourne's west. Two western suburb teams doing battle here in round 10 on a Saturday evening. Sahavdic makes his run. Anastovsky, can he fire away? Oldfield up to the task. Great reflexes by Chris Oldfield. Made a great save in the opening minute as well. Haji sent a bomb back in toward that left post as well. They got blocked on the way through. Knights look to counter once more. Tommy Semi. Albano. But the Semi ball might just get away from him. He does well to retrieve it. John Albano. Bit of a wayward pass, that one for White. Now Liberto for Altona. Anastovsky, the first time ball back to Liberto. Duarch and Sahavdic are the options at the top of the box. This is Sahavdic. Can he fire away? Went through all the defenders. But by the time it reached Chris Oldfield, he didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Altona really getting some opportunities. Very smart player, Anastovsky. I've just been watching him. Very smart player, trying to create even second balls. Yeah, a couple of shots. Could have been a little bit better, but Altona really got control of this. They'll be probably disappointed at half-time if they're not going ahead at least 1-0 because they've really been on the front foot here, Adam.
Entertaining affair, this one, albeit without a score. White. Albano. Albano could actually shoot if he wants to. He does now. Straight at Rossi, and then he falls on top of it. Dare I say it. Sorry for the AFL reference, Sammy Draper style.
Yeah, it's first real opportunity for Albano to be involved in the game. As you mentioned, Adam wasn't in the game last week, but yeah, he needs to get more involved, but that's his first opportunity. But that's all it takes. One opportunity, a class player like him, to really, against the run of play, to create that opportunity and score that goal. And Altona Magic have to be careful because the game can change very quickly with players like Semi and Albano. But the work rate, and I noticed the work rate of Altona, I'm very impressed tonight. I think Goran must have been on top of them, really working hard and moving Knights around.
Semi now finds himself at midfield and just carving away through his Tommy Semi, then gets taken down by O'Driscoll. It happens right in front of the referee there in Calvin Berg, and it's the first booking of the night, and a set piece coming up. Tommy Semi not getting up. O'Driscoll's name is in the referee's book.
Yeah, that was a surge by Semi. That's what you got to look out for. I did mention earlier that Semi and Albano will get their opportunities. O'Driscoll, professional foul, deserved the yellow card, but he was carving them up right in the middle there. So had to probably commit that foul because Semi was on the surge and just didn't get it away. Hopefully he's not injured. He can recover, but that's all it takes. Melbourne Knights have got the players to basically get behind and get through Altona Magic. And Altona Magic got to be very careful, even though they've controlled the tempo and the attacking of this game.
Now, this is our first proper look at a set piece for the night, and definitely the first one for Melbourne Knights. Only a couple of yards away from the box here. Currently, it's Ivan Franjic who's looking to line this one up. Corey Saul interested in having a look. White might be the one to fire away as well. As Calvin Berg looks to set up the wall.
Easy. White, you in there. Get him in there. Get someone out.
So here we go. A key moment, only a couple of minutes out from the end of the first half. White, Frunjic, it won't be Corey Saul to take it.
Great with your toes.
Looks like it'll be Frunjic. Doesn't place it anywhere near where it was going to test Rossi.
Yeah, a little bit of an anticlimax. That was pretty much the first set piece close to goal. Ross hasn't been bothered this first half, I would say. Maybe just one half opportunity by the Knights. Lozanovsky really wants his tall players in that wall, and that maybe affected that set piece. But Melbourne Knights really have to maybe pick it up a little bit. This is a very important game if they're going to catch up to the top six, especially with Port Melbourne winning today. And for Altona Magic, as I mentioned earlier, I think this is an opportunity for them. They played so well this first half.
Sahavdic had no space, but had the poise. Anastovsky has been keen to offload quickly when it has come his way. This time he exercises a little more caution with the ball, then chipped one in. Oldfield able to come out from his mark and safely reclaim it for Melbourne Knights. He's been called upon a few times, Chris Oldfield, in this first half. The old fella has plenty of reflexes still left in those gloves. The long ranger from White, Saul, controlling that right side alongside Tommy Semi, and that is where he goes here. Semi might have to go first time before it falls out. It's not going to land anywhere dangerously as far as Melbourne Knights are concerned. And looking to score the first goal of the game. Frunjic will reclaim. Whites. Carrigan. Wendell. Carrigan out for Frunjic. Just the 1 minute added on here at the end of the first half. Relatively clean affair apart from that professional foul that we saw from O'Driscoll only a couple of minutes ago. He got a yellow card for his troubles. Saki. Goran Lozanovsky is frustrated in that technical area. He's been quite vocal so far this evening in that Altona Magic technical area, marking out the instructions, quietly cursing to himself as well. Maybe not so quietly if we can hear it up here from our broadcast position. Gus tried to advance it toward Anastovsky. Here's Semi again. What can Melbourne Knights do this time on the counter? It won't find its way through to Bramwell. O'Driscoll nearly stopped dead. The Stoichevsky cleared away. One last chance here. That minute has expired. When does Calvin Berg blow the halftime whistle? Will the Knights get one last chance at attack? Probably not. Stoichevsky will clear away. Play continues. Well, and truly past that additional minute added on. Wendell, Albano. Bramwell. Knights just dilly-dallying a little bit through midfield, and that is the half-time whistle. Peter, no goals, but a fun affair so far.
Yeah, well, a very enjoyable game. I think Altona will be a bit disappointed not going ahead. The thing with Altona have been able to get players forward. They just haven't had the polish and the finish in this first half. Whereas a couple of times, the Melbourne Knights, they didn't get enough players forward. Once or twice with Semi and Albano got behind. So they'll be disappointed and really need to push more players forward in attacking moments. It should be a fascinating second half. Free-flowing game. The referees actually let it flow for a New Zealand referee. It's great to see, and looking forward to the second half. Hope all the viewers are with us.
Thank you, Peter. Half time here at Paisley Park. Altona Magic 0, Melbourne Knights 0. Welcome back to Paisley Park, all set for the second half here. It is Altona Magic 0, Melbourne Knights 0. Adam Sarikoglu and Peter Paleologos with you. Peter, we enjoyed that first half. Altona in particular, given the year they're having so far, have been really impressive.
They have. They don't really look like a bottom four club, and even the defence has held up. I know they've about 21 goals they've suffered this year, which is quite high, but they look very impressive and very creative. They're changing their players around, so we're looking forward to this second half. Saki, a very interesting player from France, from Cretil. Team of the week last year in NPL. Really needs to show a little bit today, and the Knights have been a bit off the pace, I would say, that first half.
No changes made at half-time. Goran Lozanovsky or Ben Suri. Franjic blazing away early. Rossi comes outside the box to retrieve. Wasn't tested too much, Christian Rossi, in the first half, but out in the other goal, Chris Oldfield called upon a couple of times, made some good saves. Franjic. Wukacha tried to play it down. Corey Sewell. Oldfield. Now Carrigan as we settle in for the second half here. 8v12 on the NPL Victoria table after 9 rounds. Was there a handball there? Play continues. Rossi. Out toward Buljuach. Here's a chance though for Melbourne Knights. The way it's going to fall here, Bramwell won't get to it.
Yeah, Suri, the coach of Melbourne Knights, bit disappointed with that. Thought maybe there was a handball, but I haven't seen much of the adjustments. I think there's still the 4-3-3 with the Knights. Hasn't really. Morden has probably got to get a little bit more involved, as is Sewell in this second half, just to give them some more impetus going forward, but not much change in formation, so that's quite interesting. Magic, pretty much the same formation as well. Pretty much 4-4-2, but transition, I would say, and getting players moving around from different positions. See Haji there. So not much change in formation, so looking forward to see if there is some adjustments to try to get that advantage.
Semi able to get away from Al Hawley here. Tommy Semi gets his wheels on once more. Already got chopped down once in a similar situation in the first half. This time the little assist through, but no finishing touch. I think that was Bramwell.
Yeah, Semi showing what he can do with his surges forward. And I noticed there O'Driscoll called in the other defender because he's obviously on a yellow card. Nevertheless, a poor finish there by Bramwell, have to say. Got to do better in that box under less pressure. Really got to get it on target and test Rossi out.
Gust here on the burst. Alexander Gust. Just sent skyward by Wernzel. It's going to fall for Buljuach. Away from Anastovsky, Liberto. It will be a corner.
Another snapshot there by Liberto. Getting the right positions, just not getting the finish right. There was obviously a deflection there. But Altona starting again, looking dangerous. And Werndl on the wing is a different position to what he was playing last year for Altona Magic. That's quite interesting. But here's an opportunity for Altona.
Liberto to take the corner here for Altona. This is Albano. Gus beats him to the ball, though. The bounce just favoured him better. Wukacha. Ball incoming over the head of O'Driscoll. Juarch was waiting for it. Carrigan, or Bramwell rather. Now it's a Semi. I do like this Melbourne Knights kit, Peter, but boy, it is hard to see those numbers on the light grey kit with the yellow numbers. Apologies if I'm getting a few of the names wrong this evening. Light contact on Sewell. Gust. Stoichevski nearly slipping over. O'Driscoll, the man on the yellow card.
Yeah, quite difficult actually. A very interesting week for the Melbourne Knights actually. B-League, we talk about second division B-League. There was an announcement out of the Melbourne Knights that at this stage, it was mentioned earlier, a previous announcement, that they're not seeking to be part of the B-League. So that's quite interesting. But as you say, very difficult. This jumper, very grey, and the whites, especially from up here, Adam, very difficult to see. But there are, I mean, obviously you can notice the players.
Anastovsky, little back flick Haji, and now Liberto. Altona pressing Liberto directly in the direction of Chris Oldfield.
Yes, again, Liberto getting there just straight at Oldfield this time and really getting the right positions, just needs to finish.
Albano getting away from Haji, but he can't get past Stoichevski. Stuck the boot out like Velcro. It's stuck with him. White for Morton. Semi. Morton. Frundich. White. Nearly pickpocketed there by Liberto. McKercher does force the turnover. Juarch goes for a run. Semi from behind, sneaking in. Then he took Juarch down. Semi is going to be booked here. Steaming in is Calvin Berg. I think the card that he pulled out of his pocket was yellow. Tommy Semi on the receiving end of a very similar incident in the first half. And this will be a yellow card for Tommy Semi once all is said and done.
Yes, Semi there. Good to see the referee get straight into it, force the players away and let get on with it. Interesting that Semi has switched sides. Probably the first tactical move, Bensuri. Of course, he's on the other side who was tagging, I used the word tagging, I was marking him before. So it's interesting that Semi's gone to the left wing this half. So an interesting move by the Knights maybe to give him a little bit less attention.
A gentle ribbing, a gentle little bit of byplay between Tommy Semi and the Altona Magic fans as that yellow card is shown to him. And a free kick will now be taken by Murkic. Calvin Berg just holding things up, not happy with what's happening at the top of the penalty box. The main person he was having a chat to there, Corey Sewell. The ball comes in now. It does bounce awkwardly. Sahavdic. Anastovsky blocked by Wendell. And that's a handball call against Jack Morton. It happens right in front of Calvin Berg. Plenty happening here at Paisley Park at the minute.
Yes, there is a little bit more urgency, a bit more spite in this game. Everyone's getting a little bit more serious here. But yes, you can tell from here it was a handball. The referee was in the right position and really had to make that call. But you can see the benches here getting a little bit animated, I would say. But here's an opportunity. I think Libretto might be taking this, or maybe even Stoichevski. So here's a chance for they haven't had a set piece. Altona Magic, not from this distance, so quite an opportunity for them to see if they can test out Oldfield.
It's their first real look at what you might want to call a more direct sort of set piece, where they can fire one all the way through. A bit more central from where we saw a similar free kick taken for Melbourne Knights late in the first half. That incident involving Tommy Semi and Aaron O'Driscoll. Haji and Liberto assessing how they're going to get past this five-man Melbourne Knights wall. Liberto, and it was starting to dip, but not in time.
Yeah, a little bit off target there by Liberto. But yes, Altona still pushing the second half, really looking for that first goal and really testing the Knights. We haven't seen much for the Knights this second half. I think they need to maybe either change it up or really get some urgency. Semi's getting in there.
It's the high ball from Bramwell, but the flag goes up here on this near side.
Crowd getting involved there. And we're seeing a good crowd here. Everyone's engaged with the match. It's been a good match. Which obviously we haven't had a goal, but really interesting match for both these teams who are both outside the 6 and more probably towards the relegation zone. But really enjoyable match. No goals, but we could see that a bit later in the game. Adam.
Well controlled by Franjic, but then the next ball wayward. Alexander Gust. Sahavdic. Gust. No easy way past Saki, so he retreats back to O'Driscoll. Good couple of moves there from Al Hawley. We'll catch up. Freight train number 2 now working its way past. On the right side. Stochevsky's ball for Gust. Everyone stops. Mukic finally releases, and it does a bounce in an ideal area for both Juarch and for Liberto. Semi now on the quick counter. We saw plenty of this in the first half. Semi has switched. Just playing that grandstand side. He was on the right side in the first half, now over on the left. For this second half, we've seen a few positional moves throughout this first half of both sides. Haji playing in a number of roles throughout so far. Now Liberto making his advance. Sahavdic. Here is Haji. Can he fire away from distance? Looking to get away from Morton. Sets it up nicely, and Juarch can't play it on into the net.
Yes, Haji could. Well done by Morton. Haji had the opportunity, but the good pressure by Morton forced him wide. Altona are getting the players again this second half into the box. However, the Knights, it's interesting, last week the Knights had 6 shots on goal. I haven't seen hardly anything tonight, so something's not really working for them. So it's time for a substitution.
Jack Morton's going to make way for Anthony Giselle. Just as you were saying there, Peter, Ben Siri makes his first move.
Yes, I think he probably needed to mix it up. A bit more creativity with Giselle. He's got a lot of experience, but really, yeah, we haven't seen. Knights was a really hard-fought contest last week with Heidelberg, a derby, both ex-NSL clubs, a lot of passion there. But a lot more urgency last week, the Knights. This game, a little bit, I'm not saying lackadaisical, but I don't see the urgency, and they'll be worried for their coach because Magic are really on their game tonight and be unlucky, probably unlucky not to have that final finishing product.
Ishmael Haji, Liberto's first touch, just opened up that door a little bit there for White. Giselle, the new man out there. Saki looking to cut in board, but does send it wide. Bramwell, nice setup for Saki. Has to find a way around Stochevsky though. Bramwell there to help out. Sewell, Giselle, Carrigan. Giselle, Carrigan. Albano. Semi, what's happened there? Play is going to be stopped here. No foul initially. And we have an Altona Magic man down and requiring medical attention. That was a bit of a weird one there, Peter.
That looked a bit of an accident there. I think he may have hit him in the back of the head. It is in the other side, very far away from our commentary box, but looks like he could be okay. He's getting up. Very interesting that Altona Magic not really making any changes, but really got the tempo of this game. And Stochevsky got a lot of young players around him, or players that haven't been in the club that long, and really showing and jockeying players in terms of position. Very making sure that he forces the Knights back. But, yeah, looks like the player's getting up and should be okay. Well done by the ref there, because he wasn't too sure what happened there.
Muhammad Al-Hawley. Good to see him back up on his feet. So the ball will be dropped here. And the Knights can resume their attack. Anthony Dizelle came on moments ago for Jack Morton. Gust. Anastovsky. Haji comes together with Saul. Saul now clutching. Maybe a knee, just hobbling a little bit, but probably okay. Bounces past Mukicha. Albano quickly, and it's a nice ball for Tommy Semi. Rossi's come out here. Semi gets past him. Keeper's out of position here. Al-Hawley now. He clears out. All is okay. Another run back in. We're into Rossi's hands eventually. That was a dicey moment.
Yeah, first real opportunity, I would say, for the Knights this second half. And Semi again involved from the wing, really creating havoc in the Magic defence. But Rossi had to commit himself, did very well, spread, and Semi couldn't get the ball across to. And as I said earlier, in the first half and the second half, I don't believe the Knights are getting enough players forward. Now, the inclusion of Duzelle will give them more passing options, because they have got Albano, they have got Saki, they have got Semi, so really need to use those weapons, if I can call it that.
Frundich. Saki wins out against Haji, but now he's surrounded. White's ball. Nice for Dizelle. More than an hour in now. And a 0-0 scoreline at Paisley Park. Good contest in our hands. Liberto steals it. Gust. Cut off by Sewell. Bramwell had some space at the halfway line. Saki. Sewell for Dizelle. Semi has some space again on the left side. Tommy Semi. Out onto the railroad.
There's the crowd getting into Semi there. Very high shot. Just a result from one of the other grounds. Dandenong have a red card and a 1-0 behind Avondale. Avondale 1-0 in front, about 33 minutes gone in Dandenong Thunder's ground. So Avondale putting the pressure on South Melbourne towards the top of the ladder.
Carrigan for Sill. Picks out Semi nicely. Tommy Semi. Albano. Haji does well. Albano comes in from behind and laid a heavy challenge on Ishmael Haji. That'll happen right in front of Calvin Berg.
Yeah, heavy challenge there by Albano. That's a fair call by the referee. Haji doing a lot of work up and down through the midfield, really trying to push through the lines. Albano playing a little bit deeper, I would say. He's not playing his normal sort of wing. He's alternating a little bit with Saki, but he's playing more of a deeper midfield role, Adam.
Altona ball. Now Hawley. Anastovsky was off balance. Just got away from him. Frundich. Whites. And Carrigan will try to switch it back up. Out toward Bramwell. Pops up in the air. Another chance here for Altona to press. Stojcevski's ball in. Sahavtic. Can he turn? He can, but the shot blocked. Saki cleans up for Melbourne Knights. Albano gets around O'Driscoll. Haji's next. Has to go out toward Tommy Semi. Retrieves it near the flag. Tommy Semi. White. Semi with some space. Dazelle. Now White looking to turn. The run being made by Saki. Bramwell, the central option at the top of the area if they can get it to him. Semi. It's patient stuff from Melbourne Knights. Carrigan has a problem here in Darcy Anastovsky. Luckily, Frunjic was there. Knights were playing a dangerous game there for a moment. Sewell. Looking to advance it toward Bramwell. Actually bounced nicely. Bramwell! Very close.
For night moments there, Bramwell got behind. Driscoll couldn't afford the foul. It would have been a red card. And just slipped it past Rossi and couldn't get it through the post. But Frunjic really, a couple of these last two moments, two attacks by Magic, been very important with his composure, experience, and reading the play. Kerrigan's been very impressive too, but a couple of mistakes there. But you've got to make the most of those moments. The Knights will be very disappointed because last week, they had a lot of chances, didn't put them away, 6 shots on goal. Here they haven't had many shots, and these are sort of the game-winning moments, Adam.
Goran Lozanovsky has the clipboard out, perhaps thinking about his first substitution of the evening. Sahavtic going to Liberto. Liberto. Saul for company. Altona Magic corner.
Liberto covering a lot of metres, left, right, centre, getting around, attacking moves, really doing a lot of work. Very impressive performance, just needs that finishing touch. But Magic, just off the last 5-10 minutes, they may need a change. I can see, as you said, Adam Lozanovsky's looking at his list of players, what maybe he can change up, because the last 5-10 minutes there.
Sorry, Peter, finish that thought.
Yeah, for the last 5-10 minutes, they haven't, they've just a little bit slowed in their attack. Here it goes, of course.
Frunjic gives away another corner.
It's a big opportunity now for Altona. They've had 3-4 set pieces, but they just haven't got it right.
Lukic will take this one. O'Driscoll tried to jump for it. Oldfield gets a glove on the ball. Stovsky falling over. Buljuarch was trying to win it back for Altona. How's this one going to land for Semi? He's got no help. He has the ball, but no options to go to. Tommy Semi. Saki, little back flick. Doesn't work out toward Bramwell. Lukic for Gust. Anastovsky. Looking to set up Buljuarch here. The cutback, Hawley. Semi comes in late. He was the one fouled.
Yeah, Semi working back there. He's working box to box, putting a lot of runs in there. I would say that Altona just maybe slowed down a bit. I can see they're looking at making a change, just to change it up. I'll be very confident that maybe they can see out and get that goal in this second half. They've been playing very well. With the Knights, not that many opportunities, but we just saw earlier with Bramwell, they only need 1 or 2, and that's what kind of game it is. I'm very surprised, Adam, we haven't had a score tonight because it has been a very open game.
Jawad Razai will be the man to come on. This is Ivan Frunjic. Not much room for Dazelle. Frunjic able to keep it in Melbourne Knights possession. Saki. Dazelle. Semi. Another change coming up for Melbourne Knights as well. Stoichevski dumping it back forward. This is Semi. White. All the time in the world at the moment for Ben Suri's men. A 0-0 scoreline at Paisley Park on a Saturday night. Saki. Nice run. And then pass out toward Dazelle. Nowhere near Tommy Semi. So Razai waiting to come on for Altona. And Felipe Sanchez waiting to come on for Melbourne Knights. Saki will be coming off for Sanchez. And for Altona, Bull Juarch, his night is over. Jawad Razai to come into the fray.
Yeah, Rizal, the, I believe, Afghanistan background player, coming on, getting his opportunity. He's come over from Hume City this season. And yeah, getting an opportunity probably spark. Sanchez, a very dangerous player, very fast, very quick, very creative. The kind of player that maybe can get that result for the Melbourne Knights towards the end part of this game. So very interesting. Saki, I would say, a little bit disappointing coming off. Wouldn't be very happy with his performance, but I wouldn't say it's one of his best because he was in the NPL Team of the Week last week.
Sahavdic, Liberto's going to have some space here. It's Liberto. Darcy Anastovsky, it's blocked and deflected out. Chris Oldfield had a very nervous moment there. Didn't know where that was.
Yeah, that was what an opportunity for Anastovsky. He hasn't had many today. He's done a lot of work. He's actually picking up the ball a little bit away from the box, but that was an opportunity, a good snapshot. A lot of defenders there in front, but it's those moments. And really, Liberto's been very impressive, and really creating havoc in that Knights box. And yeah, we saw Anastovsky with the chance there.
Silver Corolla in some sort of trouble behind us, behind the practice pitch. Liberto will eventually take this corner. The Corolla's okay. Liberto's corner. Oldfield got himself in a whole spot of bother there. Referee does stop play. Sahavdic was the one awkwardly coming in and just making a real nuisance of himself.
Look, Altona probably they've had a lot of corners, Adam, and they've just not put it maybe in the right place. They've got Haji, O'Driscoll, and Anastovsky, quite 3-4 tall players, but unfortunately it hasn't really gone for them. And Oldfield is a very hard keeper to beat. We know, very experienced. As we have another train going past, a lot of action happening here in Altona Magic's ground.
Just a metro, that one. Carrigan. Franic. Dazelle. Sanchez gets some early action. There's the new sub out there for Melbourne Knights. And he'll do battle with Sahavdic here, who goes back toward Gust. O'Driscoll. Razai with some fresh legs. Anastovsky. Al Hawley's ball. Anastovsky! What a finish! It only takes one chance. And Darcy Anastovsky gives Altona Magic the lead.
Oh, the crowd's gone crazy. Fantastic finish by Anastovsky. Hasn't had those chances, but that was the one. Rizal's speed in the middle caused havoc in the Knights' defence, really, as and opened it up. And Anastovsky, fantastic finish. Well deserved, I would say, for Altona Magic. Been on top for most of the match, and just that one moment, and really good shot. And the faithful here, the Altona Magic faithful, really, really happy because they've been waiting patiently for that first goal. And as I said, Adam, well deserved. Fantastic.
The first chance they had, which Chris Oldfield brilliantly saved, was in the opening minutes. And 75 minutes in, they finally score Altona. Darcy Anastovsky with his third goal of the season. Scored from the spot last week. That same side here at Paisley Park. And he just placed that ball beautifully. The volley. Altona Magic 1, Melbourne Knights 0. Frunjic out towards Sewell. There'll be more urgency from the men in grey now. Another change upcoming, perhaps. Nope. Just one of the subs going for another warm-up for Melbourne Knights. This is Dazelle. Carrigan. Wendell. Razai there with him. Semi. He's done well here, Tommy Semi. He's done very well, in fact. Kept his feet. Wendell. The other former Magic man. This time gets dispossessed by Al Hawley. He's been good for Altona.
Al Hawley and Gus both wing backs have been very, very good. Semi really, swarmed there, couldn't do much more. But that's where support from other players is required. He just was swarmed by 3-4 hungry Altona Magic players. Now Haji's really creating with Liberto, looking dangerous again.
Anastovsky once more. Can Razai retrieve? He can. The fresh legs handsy there. Jawad Razai. Looking to loop on over the top, perhaps. His ball blocked. Liberto will retrieve for Altona. Nathan Liberto. Razai again, looking to open up a bit of space outside the area. Haji. Mukicha. Still Mukicha. Razai. Wendell in the way for Melbourne Knights. Sanchez. Felipe Sanchez. No way around Darcy Anastovsky. Tails up right now for Altona.
Yes, that, desperation there by Altona. Rizal's got a lot of speed and just couldn't get through. Wendell, very good tackle because Rizal, very fast player and someone to really get behind. So really good substitution there by Goran Lozanovsky because it's going to worry the defence. But the Knights really have to pick it up. Dazell's controlling the ball, trying to create, but maybe the build-up's a little bit slow, and you've got Sanchez got to get more involved. He's now got the ball, but we really got to see a bit more faster phases here and transition by the Knights.
Melbourne, no, Altona ball. There's some remonstrating from a couple of Magic players toward Calvin Burke. But it is their ball. Sahavic just a little too aggressive up against Corey Sewell. Decision immediately explained there by Calvin Burke, FIFA referee from New Zealand. Sanchez, Bramwell, Felipe Sanchez, Semi, deflects out for a corner.
Yeah, Sanchez cutting in there and getting the midfield, putting Semi in, who's probably looking the most dangerous for the Knights and getting in positions, but here's a chance. I mean, this is one of the few set pieces, I would say, that the Knights have really been able to get this half. It's going to be interesting because I can see Altona very desperate to hang on here. They want this result. It's quite deep there, but Frunjic is there.
O'Driscoll. Again, O'Driscoll. Liberto. Now as far as Sanchez. Dazelle. Wendell. Semi. Ball incoming. Corey Sewell. Not enough power on the header.
Yeah, that's the build-up was a bit slow, and Sewell really couldn't do much with that. We've got a little injury here. I think just could be Gus has been one of the better players, Altona Magic. But really, Ben Suri needs some solutions. I don't know where they come from. I mean, Semi's really performing, but you've got to get some of the other players involved. This is a game where Melbourne Knights, they don't get a result, they're going to fall further behind. But for Altona, this is momentum. 2 wins. If they get this result, with beating St Albans, winning tonight, if they can, they'll get away from the relegation zone and maybe launch in the second half of the season to try to get into the top 6. So it's one of those games which we call the swing game, Adam. And if Altona can hang on, it will be a very important milestone for them.
Was Alexander Gust, as you mentioned there, Peter. He'll be allowed to come back on shortly. Stoichevsky now. Dazelle. White. Carrigan. This is Wendell. Gets it back from Dazelle. Inside the final 10 of regulation. Altona Magic 1, Melbourne Knights 0. Darcy Anastovsky in the 75th minute with the one and only score. Liberto. Razai will use the fresh legs here and work on Wendell. Low data intended for Darcy Anastovsky. Dazelle. Sanchez. Dazelle. Played on by Sewell. Al Hawley. He's been ultra impressive tonight. Semi. Gave it up to Razai. Turnover again. White. Haji did well. It fell to Dazelle. Semi. They're threatening for the equaliser here, Melbourne Knights. Carrigan. Ferranjic was initially on the back foot. Gets a little shove there for his trouble. It might have just fallen over, in fact. Sahavdic was there waiting. Anastovsky can't get it through to Haji. It's going to fall to Liberto. Play will continue here. And look at the space for Jawad Razai. First touch wasn't great, though. And the Knights were able to get back and flood the box. It stays in. Altona ball.
Yeah, that was opportunities. Just probably the wrong option, and really, we've got a substitution here for Altona Magic, but just the wrong option that just took it away for both teams initially. But Altona really see this game as one that they can get very important for them, and we've got a substitution number 17 coming on, Adam.
There'll be a double change, in fact. Fabrizio and Stephen Lawless are both going to come on here. Nasser Havdic is done for tonight. Don't yet know who the Lawless replacement or man coming off will be. Liberto is now making his way off. Actually gives off a little handshake with his teammate Daniel Fabrizio. Lawless and Fabrizio on. Liberto and Sahavdic off. Liberto in particular has had a good night. Calvin Berg will resume play here. Anastovsky being tightly marked.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Adam, Liberto been everywhere. Opportunities in the box, creating chances for also his fellow players. Really done a ton of work. Up, down, middle, side, been everywhere. And probably nothing left in the tank, and a fantastic performance. We see Haji here. We probably now be expected to really run the midfield a little bit more with Liberto off. But Altona Magic got to still press. They've still got to be pressing, because I don't see that much urgency with the Knights, and if you keep pressing, maybe the second one will come. Just around the grounds, it was 2-0 just before half-time. Avondale 2-0 ahead at Dandenong Thunder. Dandenong had a player with a red card sent off, so in a very difficult position, 2-0 down.
Aaron O'Driscoll. Look at this run being made by Al Hawley. Nearly caught Melbourne Knights off guard there. Wurzel has to give away another corner. They are well and truly on the back foot, Melbourne Knights at the moment.
It's only in the back. Well, look at Hawley. You can tell he's taking in some oxygen. That was a big run. He's up against Semi, and he's getting behind the Melbourne Knights. I mean, they'll be probably disappointed that he's just been given so much space and another set-piece corner. But really done a lot of work. I'm very impressed with both, if I can call them wing-backs, Hawley and Gust in this one, because they've really done a lot of work, but also kept a lot of the Melbourne Knights plays in check. I mentioned earlier that Albano's just playing in the middle. He's not actually playing in the wing.
Chris Oldfield in a rush. Dazelle, Frunich, Carrigan, Sewell. Semi was on the back foot when the ball came from Sewell.
Got to do better there. Sewell's got to do better. I mean, Semi's shown with his surges up front to be able to get behind Altona Magic, but you've got to get the ball to him, and the build-up's been too slow for the Knights.
Attacking move being made by Ben Siri. We are going to see John Maybach enter the fray with just a couple of minutes left in regulation here. They're chasing the equaliser, Melbourne Knights. They have been now for 16 minutes of play. Altona putting out arguably their most impressive showing of the season. And they're staring down the barrel of back-to-back wins right now.
Yes, been a very difficult season, been in relegation, bottom two, I would say, for most of the season, Altona Magic. But this is a new squad, a lot of young players, a lot of players coming from other clubs, huge turnover, lost a lot of their big names from last year. We mentioned that earlier before, but really doing well and gelling well tonight, and it was so close.
Wernzel, the man coming off, so Mansiri looking to go all-out attack here in these last couple of minutes. Haji will take it to the corner. Giselle and Frunich will want that ball to fall out quickly, and it does. Just a couple minutes left here in regulation. Lawless with the first-time ball. Fabrizio against Frunich. Fabrizio giving away the foul.
Yeah, young Fabrizio there, over-enthusiastic, but that's what Goran Lozanovski wants. He wants to get players keep pressing. They've been in control for most of this game. They're enthusiasm. They're go forward, and that's what you want to see. But you don't want to go back on the back foot and then let the Knights in with a mistake or maybe just hanging back too much. So that's very important for the Altona Magic.
This is Sanchez. Carrigan. Mukic up. Ran into trouble. Razai cleans it back up for Altona. One last Metro about to come through behind the Altona Magic goal. So we're in crunch time now for Melbourne Knights. Can't afford to be dropping too many more of these sorts of games against the side who is just on the edge of that relegation battle at the moment, Altona Magic. They cling to a 1-0 lead, the same score they won with here 7 nights ago against Dynamo.
Altona were more free scoring last year, but obviously they had a few defensive frailties. This strong performances defensively tonight I should say, and last week, so that's a good turnaround for Goran Lozanovsky, but got to keep putting the pressure on. The Knights had more intensity last week against Heidelberg. I don't know why today seemed a little bit more off the boil.
Now here's a moment for Jawad Razai, who's onside. Corey Sewell with him. Razai sat back nicely for him. Sewell in his face though. It will be a corner. 4 additional minutes added to the ends of the 45 here in the second half.
Yeah, Razai with his speed got behind there, Melbourne Knights, but he had Anastovsky by himself. There was a pass there. He missed that, and I can tell Goran Lozanovsky knew that could have been the moment to wrap up the game. Great opportunity, but unfortunately the wrong choice was made. But they've got the corner and a chance to consolidate, Adam.
Lawless will be in no rush. There were 4 minutes added on the fourth officials board moments ago. The Lawless corner, O'Driscoll over the top of the crossbar. Screams of corner will go unheard by our New Zealander referee, Calvin Burke.
You see the desperation of the Altona Magic players, just calling corner. Unfortunately wasn't given to them, but the refs made his decision. But there's intensity. They know they can take this game. The 1-0, they need this result, and they've worked really hard for it. The Knights have had, 3 minutes? Haven't shown that much, really, but they do have the players.
Corey Sewell in the central position. It was a nice little playback, and the whistle will go here as Dazelle looked to send one out toward Felipe Sanchez. The foul called for Altona. They will make another change as well as they look to wipe away the remaining minutes of this one.
Al Hooley there, I think it was. Great interception and really stepped in at the right time because the Knights were on the front foot. Very important interception, but 2 minutes to go, I would say. Another change coming up for Altona Magic to try to see this game out, but really been an impressive performance tonight, and I think the Faith will be very happy with this turnaround, especially the last 2 games, Adam.
Deem Skenderovic will get some late minutes. Haji loses out to Corey Sewell. Out in the Maybach direction here. Gust had a very good first half this evening, Peter, didn't he?
Yeah, very impressive. When we talk about the second division, we're talking about still in the frame. Everyone's saying maybe it will happen and will happen. I know the clubs met, I think it was in South Melbourne last week or this week. I could be wrong. But really, some of these players are for the second division. If I won't say A-League. Some are for A-League too, but just not enough pathways there. But players like Gus, and I don't want to talk players up here, but we need the second division for these players to really get that extra opportunity at the professional level. And we've seen some really good players here tonight.
And a solid shift from Ismail Haji, who makes way for Skenderovic. Saul, Semi, dispossessed. Counter-attack for Stephen Lawless. Anastovsky and Fabrizio, his options in the area. Razai as well, but Lawless will go toward the flag and take more time off the clock. Content with the 1-0 lead right now, Altona Magic. They're on the verge of scoring back-to-back 1-0 wins here at Paisley Park. They'll be travelling to Moreland City next weekend. Melbourne Knights will be hosting Oakley back at Summer Street.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the right choice there by Lawless. I know he's trying to save time, but there are 3 players in the middle. But here come the whistles. The crowds really wants the whistle. Big performance by Altona Magic. But the Knights on the offensive now.
Haven't quite reached the end of those 4 minutes just yet. And the ref did also indicate a couple more seconds added on for that last substitution and time lost there as Semi's ball goes wayward. And his old supporters jeer on the wayward pass that may just see this one out.
Yeah, disappointing. Probably the best performer tonight for the Knights. Semi just probably exhausted and a sideway pass that just didn't end up. But Altona will aim to see this out. I think you can see Wojciechowski really onto all the players to keep focused to see this last minute or so out. Adam.
It's been an entertaining affair at Paisley Park. The home supporters want the final whistle. A look at the watch from Calvin Berg as play will continue. We've just got a game of volleyball here right now. That's it. Altona Magic have won again. And this season may well just be back on track. Darcy Anastovsky with the one and only goal in the 75th minute. They defeat Melbourne Knights by 1-0.
Yeah, I want to mimic that. An excellent performance tonight by Altona Magic. A different side. A good game last week, but this game, they were in it from the start and really deserved this result. And back-to-back, and more than next week, I believe, they could go 3 in a row and really set some momentum for the rest of the season. Very, very good performance. Good young players. A lot of hard work, especially Gust. Really impressive. And even the O'Driscoll got the yellow card, but kept it really tight at the back. And, yeah, fantastic performance. The Knights will be bounced back. I'm pretty sure they will, but this is one of the most disappointing performances for the year for them. Really didn't seem into it. It's just one of those games. But for the independent or the neutral viewers, it's a very enjoyable game. I know we only had 1 goal. But, Adam, thanks for the call and fantastic. And, yeah, really enjoyable game.
Thank you, Peter. A good win for Altona Magic here against Melbourne Knights. Darcy Anastovsky with his 3rd goal of the season. That was the difference. We're done here at Paisley Park. Altona Magic 1, Melbourne Knights 0.